Hey guys, my name is Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Green Onion Vintage. If you are new here, I have an antique booth and I am getting ready right now for the Christmas season. So I have a few projects I want to share with you today. If you are not new here, you might have noticed I haven't made a video in a while, and I have a pretty good reason. I am actually about 16 weeks pregnant right now, and I've just been terribly sick pretty much since about 6 weeks hit. So I've had about 2 or 3 months of just being really miserable. I have hardly done anything, but I do this antique booth with my mom, and she's been able to pick up the slack while I basically just like lay on the couch and try to keep my other kids alive. So it's been a rough few weeks, but I'm feeling better now, and this is just in time for the holidays. I have a big tent sale coming up at the antique booth, at the antique store that I work at, and I am trying to get a lot of stuff ready for that, a lot of merchandise, and I work in the shop next week, which is early November, and that is pretty much the prime time, if not even a little too late, to get Christmas decor into your booth. So I've been working like crazy this week trying to get caught up in some projects that I have had lying around. I'm not gonna like take you through the process so much today, but I do want to show you what I've been working on, kind of tell you what I did. Most of the things I'm showing you today are upcycled antiques that I've turned into home decor. It's kind of my specialty, and it's what sells the best for me. I don't have any furniture today except for a small end table, and just with being sick, I haven't really done a lot of furniture recently. I don't even have anything waiting to be worked on. I haven't purchased furniture. So I think just for the Christmas season, I'm probably gonna focus on smalls, focus on antiques. So I'm gonna take you through everything that I've got ready to go, a few things that I have in progress, and then some things I plan on working on. And then if you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, because next week when I work, I'm gonna put all this stuff in my booth, and I'm gonna take an updated antique booth tour for you then. So thank you so much for watching, and let me show you what I'm working on. Okay, so here is everything I have going on right now. I think the only things that are finished completely are the red barn doors, and then both pairs of shutters are done. So that pair over there, this pair over there. Actually, I think this little chalk sign is done too. And this is erasable, so whoever buys it can write their own thing on the bottom. And I can't decide if this sign is going to be done, or if I need to put like a little word here. Hold on, my kids are fighting. Let me go break up a fight. Okay, so I'm just gonna start kind of left to right. This is something I wanted to show you. I got these trees, I think for $5 or $6, and they were green when I purchased them. And all I did to make them look flocked was just add some white chalk paint. I actually made the chalk paint a little thicker by adding some just regular Elmer's glue, and really just focused it on like the ends of the needles. And I think it just really made the tree look more expensive. I'm still gonna put like a ribbon on it or something, and dress it up a bit. So I'll be selling a bunch of those flocked trees in my booth, and that was a really easy, fun project. I also have this little end table here. You can see it. So I just painted this gingham top on here. I've done gingham before on my YouTube channel, so if you want to go back a few videos, you can see how I do that. I just use painter's tape, and then I lightly distress it when I'm done. I just kind of like the look of it distressed, and I distress all the edges. So for this one, I use 3 colors. I use the white as the base, and then the gray stripes, which go this way and this way. And then the final step is to just paint the overlapping squares black. And I still need to poly that table, so it's almost done. I just want to poly it a couple times so it's nice and durable. This is a little sign I'm working on that I need to put, I think I'm going to put a word here that says Merry Christmas, or be jolly, be merry, something like that. So this is something I need to take downstairs and finish up with my Cricut. I'm going to make a stencil and then paint the words. And then this one, I'm going to use my Cricut also to make a stencil that says fresh cut trees. And what you're seeing here is actually a transfer. So the trees are this painted iron orchid design transfer. So it's actually a rubbing that you transfer on, and it's almost like a finished paint once it's on here. So it's stuck on here for good. It's permanent. It comes in a package like this. This is the Christmas one. So it's Iron Orchid Designs is the brand. It's the transfer, and this is the Woodland Christmas transfer. And I've actually never done this before. The shop that I work at sells these, and this is the first time that I went ahead and purchased them because I really liked all the designs in there. And I really enjoyed using them. So all you do is basically cut out the shape you want to use. You lay it on anything. I've seen it used on furniture, glass, windows, and then I'm doing mostly wood signs with mine. So that is one of the transfers. This deer, and then the greenery below it, that's one of the transfers. And that turned out really cool. And then you'll see the transfers on my signs over there also. So I've had a lot of fun with those. It's not super cheap. I want to say it was maybe $40 actually for this whole package, but there's so much in here that you could really do a lot with it. But since it was a little expensive, I am trying to use as much of it as I can so I can get my money's worth back this Christmas season. I'm sure I'll have some extra that I can use next year too. So the goal for this sign is to put fresh cut trees, and then I'm going to have to frame this so that it looks nice and finished. So for a small sign, it's pretty tedious, pretty time consuming. I think it'll be cute at the end, but I mean, because it's so small, I'm not going to be able to charge a lot. So those are the kind of projects that are like maybe not quite worth it financially, but I do think it'll be cute in the end. And then this one, I painted the gingham background and then did another, this is a smaller deer transfer. There's only 2 in the package. One's really large over there. That's probably more like maybe a foot tall. And this one's maybe 8 inches or 6 inches even. And so the same with this, I'm going to put some kind of word on the bottom and then frame it. I typically use just the really cheap furring strips for my frames. So I'll go to Home Depot, get the furring strips, cut it down to size, stain it a nice dark wood, and then nail gun it all on there. And then I'll have to put something on the back so that the pictures can be hung on the wall. So like I said, pretty time consuming for a small project. But I feel like it's important to have a variety of sizes in your booth so that people can come shop with a variety of budgets in mind. So I don't really remember where I got this frame. It's like a galvanized frame with this kind of cute plank background. It was already like that when I bought it. I want to say it was from Michael's last year. And I know I got the wreath from Hobby Lobby last year. And I really like how expensive it looks. And it was a few dollars. And I mean, the frame was a few dollars, so you add it together and it's probably about $15 materials with the bow. And then, like I said, I'm gonna stencil something on the bottom. So that one's gonna be pretty cute. Probably be able to charge about $30 for that one. Back to the end table here, you can see the whole thing. This is a true antique I got at a Pickers Market a few years ago. But now that we have another baby on the way, I'm kind of pulling out some of our furniture that we've had for a while and trying to make space. So that table is ready to go now, and the trees. So moving on to these shutters. I got these shutters and these shutters at an antique store, and they were just like a really dated oak color. So I had my mom actually spray painted this pair like a dark green for Christmas, and then that pair is like an off-white. And all I did for this was just get a really pretty ribbon and tie the wreaths on there, and I just think it came out really cute. I love like the idea of these up on somebody's mantle, or even like above somebody's bed, like in your master bedroom. So just a really cute, easy project. If you're looking for something to DIY yourself, this is such an easy one. And I mean, it's pretty easy to find shutters nowadays. I find them on a very regular basis at this particular antique store, so I try to keep an eye out there. So I was happy with that. That was a fun project to do. This is that deer I was talking to you about. So this is actually an old breadboard. Oh, can you hear my like out of breath pregnancy problems? Whew. So I taped off the edges. I don't know why. This was an idea that came to my mind. Taped off the edges, painted it white, and then just heavily distressed it. So I wanted some of the wood to still come through, but the white gave enough color contrast for the deer to really pop. And then I did the greenery on the bottom. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to try to squeeze in some words, like I said earlier, like Merry Christmas or something. I think that would look cute. It might just be a little crammed, so I might make this stencil and lay it out and see what I think. I don't use my Cricut a lot for vinyl, if you're wondering why I'm making stencils more than I am vinyl. I just don't really like working with vinyl, so that was my plan there. Make a stencil that I can paint. I just thought that turned out really pretty, and this is a really large sign, so I think I'm charging $50 for it. And I still need to attach something to the back so I can hang it on the wall. That's actually like the worst part. This was a sign that actually said something completely different. I painted over the original sign in black and then rubbed chalk over it and added this cute little wreath. I think I got at the Target dollar spot. If I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, that's right. And it came with that ribbon. So I just attached it to the sign, rubbed it with chalk, and then I wrote my own little deck the halls in the bottom. But like I said, if someone wants to rewrite it, they can. So that was cute, little easy project. Just time consuming, as they all are. Now these I'm really happy with. I think they turned out really pretty. These wouldn't necessarily go to the same buyer unless they really wanted both of them. But I'm imagining more they're just like an individual sale. These are just some really old barn doors. I've honestly had them sitting in my inventory so long that I can't even remember where I purchased them from. But I just love like the red for Christmas time. And so I just kind of freehanded the trees. I mean, I used painter's tape, but I just eyeballed it. And so for the one, I painted the gingham, and then for the other one, I did like a grain sack stripe on a white tree. And then the bottom, I used the same transfer for both, which is like this little pine cone bundle. And I had a really hard time getting the transfer to stick because this is such old wood. You can actually see right there, it's coming back up again. So I'm going to Mod Podge that down so that it's nice and firm and isn't going to peel off. And when I was done, I oiled the whole thing, and that really brought the red out, and I'm just super happy with them. I just think this is one of those like one-of-a-kind Christmas decorations that you're not going to find anywhere else. You're not going to find this at Hobby Lobby. And I do believe that's why people come and shop at our store. So those are cute, and those, if they don't come to my booth next week in my next video, I will bring them up at the tent sale. But I'm going to try to get at least one into my booth because they bring such a good Christmassy color. And then this is the final set of shutters. So I used an iron orchid transfer on the bottom. That's what the holly leaves are. And I actually distress it. Since it's like paint, you can distress the transfers, which is really nice. And then I just really lightly distress the wood. You can kind of see on the edges here. The thing about spray paint is it doesn't come off as easily as chalk paint does. So if you want to distress it and you're using spray paint, you're going to have a bit of a harder time. So I couldn't really get it as distressed as I'd like to. But I still think they came out pretty. This is that same Target wreath as over there. But I actually added my own berries to these. And I just really like the color together. So that is actually everything I have done for Christmas. I guess while I have you guys here, I will show you some of the items that I've decluttered from my kitchen shelves over here. I've been really trying to organize these. They're still so full though. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. And then over here, after watching the home edit, I'm trying to like sort things by color again. But this is our homeschool station and, you know, my cookbook storage, some of my antique storage, and then even some food overflow. So it serves many purposes. It's never going to look probably as clean as I want it to, but it is what it is. I tried to be pretty ruthless yesterday and go through to pick out some items that I really just need to sell. Let me get some better lights on for you. And most of these are items that I bought to sell and then decided to keep. But with the baby coming, I feel like it kind of changes your mindset. You know, I'm ready for a little bit of extra money to set aside and just for less clutter around me. So this is this little slate chalkboard. It's actual slate. And I made this little wreath. So I put that in there. That's going to go in my booth maybe this evening since it's not technically Christmassy stuff. Another little chalkboard. This one's not real slate, but it is an antique and it's super cute. This is a vintage inspired mailbox. It's not antique, but it's really beautiful. I've sold actually a few of these in my booth, and I kept one for myself because I love the green. Of course, that is my favorite color, if you haven't noticed yet. But I'm going to go ahead and part with that. This is just an awesome enamel bowl, which I don't need, but I've kept it because I love it. It's time for it to go. This is a chalkboard. I have enough chalkboards in my house. So I actually just attached this wreath, and this was another wreath from Target. And I actually bought like all they had that day because I knew I would use them like this. But I mean, look how cute that looks together. So that's gonna go in my booth. And this is a knit pot holder that I've sold a few of and kept this one for myself, but I decided I don't really need to keep it. I love how chunky it is though. It has so much texture, and of course I love the green, but I'm gonna let that go. That's another pot holder. These have never been used. They've just been hanging as decoration. And then I'm sadly getting rid of some of my copper, but it's just, you can see I don't have the space for some of it. I love these. These are copper measuring spoons. Probably antique, I would guess, but I'm going to let them go. I also got these at a picker's market, and they have a little spout on the side. Oh, maybe I don't want to get rid of them. I don't know. I better put them in the booth soon. I have this wire like utensil holder. These antique copper spatulas and spoons with this awesome wood handle. And then last, I'm going to talk to my mom about this because she got it for me. I'm going to make sure she doesn't want it before I sell it. Is this yellow enamel pot. It's so cool. It's so cool. But again, you see my kitchen. I don't have like an abundant amount of storage, so I'm just trying to be real ruthless with the space that I have. I just really love how this came together. But that's kind of everything I have ready to go in my antique booth. And like I said, if you want to subscribe, you can watch that antique booth tour next week. And I will let you guys go there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate you spending some time with me. I hope you are getting ready for the Christmas season too and are looking forward to it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.